Oh.
Welcome to the room, truth on the mic, healing the soul, we rise and ignite. Mind, body, spirit aligned in the flame. War room tribe, we roar in our name. There's a whisper in the silence, there's a tremble in the ground. The walls that stood for ages are beginning to come down. People see the cracks appearing in the stories they've been told, while others hold on tighter to a world that's growing old. Some still watch the stage lights caught up in the endless show, clinging to the comfort of the only thing they know. Though they feel it in their spirit, though they see it with their eyes, they keep reaching for the shadows while the old illusion dies. This is the shift, can you feel it in the air? A change is moving through us, waking hearts everywhere. Though the road is rough and winding and the night seems far too long, we're remembering who we are and we'll find where we belong. The music will play again, the sun will rise once more, and life will fill the empty halls that echoed before. Hold on through the storm, there's beauty still to come. The shift is here among us, and the best is yet to come. The pain around me and the weight people conceal. Some are angry, some are broken, some don't know just what to feel. Some lash out from fear and sorrow, some are frozen by the unknown, while others hear a quiet calling deep within their soul. They know something's changing, though they cannot name it yet. A feeling in their spirit they could never quite forget. So they gather what is precious and they do the best they can, trusting there's a greater purpose hidden in the plan. This is the shift, can you feel it in the air? A change is moving through us, waking hearts everywhere. Though the road is rough and winding and the night seems far too long, we're remembering who we are and we'll find where we belong. The music will play again, the sun will rise once more, and life will fill the empty halls that echoed before. Hold on through the storm, there's beauty still to come. The shift is here among us, and the best is yet to come. With resistance, every season has its end, but every falling leaf makes room for life to bloom again. What was lost can be recovered, what was broken can be healed, when we stop denying what our hearts already feel. No, it's not the end of living, it's the ending of a phase, and beyond the clouds awaiting are much brighter days. We'll rediscover meaning, we'll remember why we're here, and the songs we've long forgotten will return for all to hear. This is the shift, and the dawn is drawing near. The future's being written by the ones who persevere. Though the path is filled with questions and uncertainty remains, there's a fire burning stronger than the fear and all the pain. The music will play again, the laughter will return. From every trial we've endured, there is a lesson we can learn. Stand tall through the change, let the old world fade away, for the shift is bringing light
Happy Friday, y'all. We're celebrating 250 years of Fridays. Happy Friday 250. Happy Friday 250.
Welcome, everyone.
Want to welcome. Nadine's bouncing in and out. Happy Friday 250, Nadine.
Hey, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear anything. I'm sorry, everybody. I didn't get to your comments in the beginning of the show.
That's okay. Well, happy Friday 250.
Shabbat
Celebrating
shalom.
200. Huh?
Shabbat shalom.
Daddy's home?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Shabbat shalom. So, everybody's having a good day. Friday got here quick, didn't it?
Yeah, it did
A
real
lot.
fast.
So, everybody's been getting a lot of rain. Hope it's watering your crops so you ain't got to do a whole lot of
Water.
watering from the city water.
Yeah, we've been getting it, but it,
Sink water.
they're not. They don't last long. Just enough to get a good water, and
They
then it
they flood
stops.
us out, and then it stops.
Yeah,
Flood, stop,
yeah,
flood,
it comes
stop.
down hard.
It was a lot of really fake rain. I like fake rain, but drizzle.
Yeah,
It was drizzling.
we need some more lightning. That lightning
It felt like that
really
Forrest Gump movie.
charges the garden.
That movie with Forrest Gump when he's in Vietnam
Yeah, oh yeah.
and it rains on and off, and that water came from the ground up. That's what it. So the job of the mainstream media today is to make you think that the views of the 10% of the country are actually the views of 90% of the country. Right. That has a lot to do with Jesse Waters. Remember Jesse Waters saying that the four Democrats betrayed the party for voting against the war that Trump campaigned on not doing. Isn't that weird? So now it's betrayal to stand on principles, right? And the Constitution. So we have party alliances versus country, and the people that voted for no war, no regime change. Those are your constituents, right? Those are the people in the community, the people you're supposed to be representing, and they said no war, no regime change. And then when you go and vote for war, you're not listening to your constituents, are you? Or the voice of the people. So when people say, "Oh, my vote is my voice," well, your fucking representative don't hear you. Your representatives can't hear you. They do what the hell they're told to do by APAC. They're APAC's bitch.
I think it's like I said. I think
Bunch of
it's all a
treasonous
test to
traitors.
see if you're going to stand on
Business.
your like like what if you go back to listen to Trump's first term, all the stuff he said and what all we wanted. Like, I like the first term Trump. That was the one that
He
I
stuck his
thought was
foot up.
everything was going to happen, right? I don't know who this one is.
It seems to
So
test to see who's
the principles, what you're supposed to stand on,
right.
the what we wanted, what we were supposed to be getting.
But I think a lot of people got caught up in uh, the psyop, right? When all of a sudden all the never Trumpers came out and are now a part of Trump's administration, it really put MAGA in a pickle, didn't it?
Yeah,
It's almost like we have dementia or amnesia and we don't remember all these people talking shit about Trump for fucking decades. It's like the craziest shit I've ever seen.
right. But
Like Hegseth didn't like Trump.
if
Mark
you
Levin didn't like Trump.
if
Lindsey Graham, Lady G, does not like Trump.
if you go
But yet
back and
they're
listen
all
to Trump's older speeches, then you'll remember
yeah,
that he was against everything he's doing now.
yeah. Speaking of Lindsey Graham, he's in some hot water, right? I'll get into that here in a second. I lost my TV screen for some reason. Hold on. 1 second.
A new 84. She's in Queensland.
Queensland?
Yeah, UK
Isn't I thought Queensland was in Australia.
or Australia. Sorry, my bad.
Oops.
Well, it looked like
The
the
one
UK
thing
flag.
Mrs. Sheepdog didn't know.
Well, that's funny.
Well, yeah,
That's funny right
Well,
there.
we called her out.
the Queen. The Queen was in the UK, so I assumed the UK.
Well, she
But she
does
was
own
in
Australia.
Australia
Well,
while.
her face is on the coins over there
Yeah,
too,
I know.
and Canada.
I know. I have her face on a couple silver pieces.
I got some silver pieces
Yeah.
from Canada with the Queen's face on it. I'm like, well, a good thing we can melt these down.
Yeah.
Hold on, I lost my
They
screen.
got they put a bill together for New York against the data centers. So they're going to be stopped hopefully for a year. That's what it says. Kathy Hochul still has to sign it. But if these bitches want them, they're just going to put them up. They're not going to worry about us.
Right. Well, a lot of they're stopping a lot of them, or at least pausing them. I know several states. I posted it last several days ago. All the states that they put a pause to. I know why they're trying to still stop it, but at least they paused them. So Trump's executive order in 2025 he signed to accelerate the data centers, and they have. A lot of people don't remember that, right? But he did,
Yeah, the executive order.
right? Like Biden had a regulation on AI, right? And then when Trump got in, he unleashed it all. So was that a good thing, bad thing? I don't know, but I think
So the first Trump was good. The second Trump was good because he was doing Biden, and now
yeah,
the third Trump is bad.
Well, no, second Trump
right.
wasn't.
That's what I'm saying. Is that Trump? I mean, they have him looking all crazy now. He's like going to sleep like Biden was, saying crazy things, ranting on True Social at 3 in the morning.
He
I
should have to try to get his fat ass on a bike now.
posting crazy stuff. I mean, it could. I think it's AI. Think about it. If
Yeah,
he unleashed AI, um, that I was watching a podcast today, and he was showing the news people how they look so AI, right? He's like,
yeah,
I think these people are all just fake. I
I
think
do.
I think
I
that's what.
do. I do
Hmm.
too, man. I do. I just, especially being away from it. If you're into it still, you're
What
gonna.
was? Oh,
Yeah.
it was Ivanka Trump. They were playing a video of her, so she's talking about that place she's buying
Right.
in that island or whatever, and
Yeah.
they're to do a bunker under there. Well, you could tell that was AI. You could clearly see it. And then we watched this other one. Remember that I said there his mouth. You could tell it was AI, but you can see.
Oh, Kushner's always looking
Yeah.
Oh, it
CGI and
was
AI.
Kushner. Yeah, he looked like a woman.
That
First of all,
fucker's
looked like he
always
had makeup on, and his mouth wasn't going with the
with the
words right.
words, right? So it looked
Yeah.
like cheesy.
Hmm.
It looked like a cheesy. Well, it looked like a newer video game.
Yes.
You know how they
So
have the real almost the video games today. All the people on the video games look almost realistic.
so the
So,
the
so
ones that are the ones that the original ones are gone. The actresses are gone, and now we're dealing with AI.
I
yeah,
think it's
Welcome,
all AI. And think about it. That's how you could be deceived easily, right?
Brave New World. Huh?
Right? Unless and like they were talking about how the youth they played so much AI, like gaming and all that, that they can see it faster than other people can see it.
right. They realize they're in a live action role play
Right.
LARP.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Because you would be able to spot it better.
Right. So here it is right here. This is Ivanka Trump. I discovered an island. From now on, call me Columbus.
Oh Lord.
And then Albanians are like, we're here fighting empires while Rome still existed, long before October 12th of 1492, ma'am. And then we look at the record of, Columbus discovered America and Ivanka Trump discovered Sazan, Albania.
Uh-huh.
Last time Zionists attacked Albania was they got their asses kicked. United Kingdom and the Royal Navy. And if you see, Albania has down here at the bottom casualty and losses 0. 44 though of the United UK guys killed, 42 wounded, 2 destroyers damaged, and one of them beyond repair.
It's because good people, we know how to fight, whatever, but the other ones, they just use the media against everybody. So they're like, oh, us fight? Oh no. Oh.
All right, so this is Albania right here. They when they heard that she was wanting to buy an island, her and Kushner, they froze their money. Their money's been frozen, uh, and then they took to the streets in Albania. All right, let me remove this here. They took to the streets of Albania. Here's the image. It says right here from Jake Shields. This should have been America over the Epstein files. This should have been us whenever we heard they eat children. So that's what's going on in Albania, minus the music, of course. But look, just because of oligarchs wanted to come in and buy some, I mean, Vodka Trump and then Kushner and some private funders talk about buying an island, I think, and then this is their reaction. And Jake Shields said this should have been America whenever they heard about the Epstein files, trafficking children
Right.
and humans and all the other
In
sick shit.
Albania, yeah, they rose up.
They rose up, boom, just over buying an island. I can imagine what they would do if they found out a bunch of pedophiles are running their government.
You know
You
what
know,
was a good video for this was that Mind Forged by Chris, that one that tells exactly why people are like they are today. I think you reposted it. It was like he's just telling everybody that you get, oh, people are eating children, and it's like, oh, this one's eating that one. Like they're putting too much information in front of people.
Yeah, it's
That one, yeah,
yeah,
information over.
it makes them numb, so they don't
yeah,
even know what to freaking
It's too much
too
that they
much.
don't know. They feel like there's nothing I could do about it anyway, right?
right.
Like,
And until you get knowledge, that's how you can do something.
exactly. Or they don't know what to do. Um, and then, like he said, they have one crisis, and then as soon as that, another crisis, and then
Just
this, all
constant
over the place. That
bombardment.
it,
It's a demoralization
yes,
campaign.
demoralization.
Demoralize the country, and then that way they're just numb to anything, and they don't know what to like. That's why you got to stand on principles. And
Kind of like in the movie 1984, right? They were like, we're having a war over here, right? And then when they got so confused, they were cheering for one country over the other one, and then they would switch it up on them, right? And then the guy sits there and he does the newspaper, and he takes the article of someone accused of a crime and puts another picture on it, and they just make up crimes with people's faces.
That's civil law for you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then it's you put it out as the news, and the people believe it. And I mean, could they be doing that now?
is this on Fox News? I don't watch Fox News or any of it, but is this on Fox News? Are they showing you all these protests taking place over that island? Yeah, they're not too happy. I mean, yeah. So a lot of corruption even going on over there. They're not putting up with even just a little bit. Looks like in Albania, which is good. Fourth night of protest in Albania against a mega tourism project and it's a natural reserve, which is linked to Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump. Protesters demand suspension and defend Albanian lands. Yeah, you ain't gonna come over here claiming no damn lands, act like you're Christopher Columbus and that. Oh, I just said the island is 400,000 hectares, and me and Jared just swam to shore and seen that it was a vacant land and nobody was there, and we decided, hey, let's put our flag here. We discovered new lands. No, that's somebody's home. It's a nature preserve, right, for the country. So yeah, there's that. Uh, all right. All right. So Lindsey Graham caught secretly funding Hamas, Hezbollah, and Al Qaeda, ISIS, and other enemies of America. So no name McCain too, right? Y'all remember that? That Lindsey Graham and John McCain taking pictures with ISIS. Y'all remember those pictures? That's old school shit, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was years back under the Obama administration, I believe. Maybe even Bush, right? So this is what it's like explaining the New World Order to your neighbors. This is what they hear, right? Y'all know how we're talking right now, right? When
Yeah.
you're trying to explain something to your neighbors, this is what it sounds like to them.
Okay.
That's why I stopped talking to my neighbors. I'm like, never mind, just forget it. I don't even want to have to go all the way back to the beginning to have to get you to
It's
where.
like, yeah, they look at you like that
That's what
deer
they
in the
hear. That's all
headlights.
they
Of,
hear.
They asked me what's up. I'm like, oh, well, I'm just waiting for the government to be taken down. And they just kind of giggle. Yeah, Bud and I are just doing our part.
right?
Yeah. So there you go. Trying to explain the New World Order to your normie friends. Y'all caught all that? Okay, listen up. All right. I think it's time you knew the truth. All right, the world is run by 13 families. And then what you read in the sheet? You have to control the banks, and you have to talk about big
Mhm.
pharma and all the media. But
There's just too much to talk about. Try to spit it out all in one. The major ones.
and then you get into shape shifting reptiles, and then they like go inside and shut the door on you.
Yep.
And then when you talk about, and then when they drive by, they don't even wave no more.
I've been there. I've done that. Good boy.
Hey, if you want privacy and you like to stick to yourself, go ahead and try to wake your neighbors up.
Right?
You'll
Yeah,
get all kinds of
exactly.
you'll get all kinds
Exactly.
of left alone.
Uh-huh.
All right, so UFC fight, we have I think there's a lot taking place with that. All right, right here we have the Dana White, and we all know why you were blacklisted from the White House because you refused to be silent, and the UFC overlords are compromised. So they think Dana White is compromised. And if you look at the pictures in the back of him looking at this belt, you'll see what we're talking about. All right. If you walked in that room, what would you do? I'd be like, hey, look, what the hell is that on the wall? Are you fixing to put me on video and record this? Looking at a belt with a picture of somebody like that behind me? For what? What does that represent? That's the equivalent of seeing of Bill Clinton walking into Zorro Ranch and seeing his picture hanging on the wall in a blue dress with red heels, right? So they got shit like that on everybody, right? So you'll dance. So that's Sean Strickland. Y'all know Sean Strickland. He was the
Right?
one that got blacklisted from the fight.
And think about it. If
But
they've had this advanced AI for so long. Could they make a video of you and use it as blackmail?
not only can they make a video, but they can clone your ass.
I know. Maybe
It's
that's
gotta
what
be.
cloning is.
They can
It's
clone your ass and have you go do some shit on
Maybe
video.
a digital image of you.
this has got to be much worse than just people having sex because
Oh, I know.
proud. They're proud of what they do.
What adults do, I don't give a shit about.
Yeah,
When it gets into the children is when I have an issue.
yeah,
Whatever
yeah.
y'all, if
So
y'all want
it's
to be
got to be
freaky
worse
deaky,
than
do
yeah.
your thing, whatever, that's you. But when you start including children in your shit, that's it. Game over. All right. And also, you're supposed to, I don't know, a lot going on there. A lot of shit taking place with that. All right. So we want to get into, I'm trying to go in order here. Yeah. Let's go into a little bit of Dabu. He's talking about the 401ks, right? Little click with bloodbath, $1 trillion wiped from the U.S. stock market within hours today. Trump is dumbfounded, right?
Yeah.
Y'all heard this one? Let me put this over here in the corner.
Yeah, I think someone's telling them everything's great and it's not.
Everything's great, and then boom, everything gets wiped out.
I think he has people in his cabinet say making him look like a fool on purpose, maybe.
Yeah, or he's doing it.
Or he's doing it. One of the two. Something's going on.
All right, let's check, see what Dabu7's got to say out. Let me get the link. Y'all go like, share, and subscribe. Shout out to Dabu7. Here we go. Let me put this in that thing. Let me go ahead and play this for you.
What's up, guys? Dabu7 back at you here. We have had an absolute bloodbath in the markets today. For those that don't keep up with it and are not paying attention, well, if you've got a 401k, you better be, because it just took a huge hit. We've been watching these hits get bigger and bigger and bigger. And here we are today. You're talking a $1 trillion hit within a couple hours. That's huge. All Trump can do is post something on Truth Social saying he don't understand how the market's going down, that it's gone up for 200 years every time they post strong jobs reports, and that's how it's supposed to work. Well, that's not how it's working. He knows what's going on fully because he was put here and he's on record on video saying it. He was sent to reset this whole thing. And there's a plan. It's called the Mar-a-Lago Accord. And I've warned you about this for months now. Now, Warsh is in there. And Warsh is seasoned and he's trained to roll out the Mar-a-Lago Accord. What's the Mar-a-Lago Accord? It has to do with the restructuring of our financial framing in this country. So there's going to be something huge happen. All the people are in place. I've warned you about it thoroughly. The biggest thing that they could probably do is hold your money hostage in a bank where you can't get it and simply say, hey, download this app and you can spend your money. It's going to be a quick fix. It's going to be easy. They can do it rather fast on the whole herd and get them right on into a new system, and they don't even see it. It will be on blockchain. It will be a USDT, simply something like that, it's already in place. All they got to do is hold your money hostage in the bank, and then, problem, reaction, solution is what they're going to come with because they designed it. I would expect this. Now, you've got all these flights in the past 24 hours flying into Israel, raising red flags, coupled with this huge market dump. I will say this opens up a buy opportunity for silver. In anything else, if the market's pulling back, you got to watch these windows where it presents the opportunity here. We're down to 60s, 50s, anything down from here, I'd be watching for entry. And it's going to be in a crisis or crazy type of situation where the biggest dips come from. Don't forget that the biggest dips applied within the past decade probably came when they announced lockdowns, and the whole scare came with COVID. Every market dipped. Bitcoin went all the way down like $3,000 or $4,000. And anyone that was expecting that, sitting on the sidelines with a bunch of cash, I don't know, like Warren Buffett and everybody right now, they'll be buying it up, scooping it up on the pennies. Can't you see that's what they're doing? That's exactly what they're doing. Buffett's sitting on the sideline with a record hoard of cash. Look, when they're dumping like this and making moves like this, you just witness Peter Thiel dip out of the country and go down to Argentina and enroll his kids in the school down there. He's getting out of America because he knows something's coming big time. I'd get ready, man. A lot of red flag signs here, but man, when you see $1 trillion dumping out of the market in a couple hours, this is why I warned people, man, don't be caught in a 401k, because when they start this process, it's going to milk it out. And you're not going to have much left. So that's where things sit. Again, absolute bloodbath in the markets. Trump dumbfounded, doesn't seem to know what the hell's going on, doesn't seem to understand it, but that's stupidity. He knows exactly what's going on. Join me on the live streams where I've got more time to cover this in greater detail. Going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern here on Dabu 77.
There you go.
So
Check out Dabu 7
does
after
he
the
not
show.
know, or was he being fed false information? Or
What do you
does he
mean
know?
there's the $1
And
trillion
plain stupid.
missing?
But yeah, remember when we talked about pulling your stuff out of the 401k, right? But seems like it's going to be just maybe that's all they're talking about for now is the 401ks.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you said, be put on the blockchain maybe to monitor where maybe there's something up with these 401ks. Maybe there's more to what 401ks actually are. Maybe there's something backhanded they were doing with
Right.
it.
Yep.
America great again, tell Donald Trump to go to hell. If you can't admire Joe Biden as a person, then it's probably you got a problem. You need to do some self-evaluation, because what's not to like?
Joe Biden, he won. He's the legitimate president of the United States.
He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot.
It wasn't peaceful. I was there. If it had been up to me, I would have shot some of these people in the head.
And you know how you make America great again? Tell Donald Trump to go to hell. If you can't admire Joe Biden as a person,
Wow.
The United States of amnesia.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's like, well, you know the elections are rigged because Lindsey Graham keeps winning in a district that he's not even popular in. Have y'all seen that when he shows up to his South Carolina, he gets booed?
Yeah.
Y'all know that, right?
Yeah.
That dude gets booed. Whoa. That's a hell of a chopper to just throw by. Was that Orange County?
I wish they would stop with that. They always say it's for my safety, so people know I know you're there. It's like I don't know why they have to be so obnoxious with the engine thing.
Right.
Yeah, what is that? Motorcycles? It sounded like the Hells Angels just drove by.
I know. It's
So
a really
Congress,
nice mountain ride through here. So
yeah. I said Orange. You know who Orange County Choppers is, right? No.
gosh darn it, yeah, yeah, my mic wouldn't open. Yeah, they're in Orange County, in New York. They put the different bikes together and they
Yeah.
sell them for a lot of money.
I think
Yeah.
Trump bought one in a while back, put it in the middle of Trump Tower. So Congress is doing its jobs, is somehow betraying the party. Fox News has permanently destroyed the minds of nearly every boomer conservative. Breaking, Congress has voted to end the Iran war. 4 Republicans betrayed the party. So they're voting upon party lines, not what their constituents want, which 70% to 80% of their constituents want. All voted for no war, no regime change, America first.
Right.
They're just doing what the people are doing. The people are doing all party lines.
Yeah,
So they're probably trying to teach people a lesson.
that's right. That's exactly it.
Yeah, brainwashed by Israeli propaganda for decades, and they don't even realize it. That's why they're all in support of some shit. They don't even know what the hell it stands for. Oh, you stand with Israel? Oh, okay. Well, then fly your ass to Israel. Go stand over there. It's America, right? Take that shit across the pond. Go stand with them. And George Washington, it's like they didn't listen at all. Bro, the same. All right, so that's that. Here's Jesse Waters brainwashing his audience, but I believe most of the people are waking up to the bullshit. You're now a traitor if you don't want war and you want the Epstein files. You're a traitor to the country. Ain't that crazy? You literally got to accept the fact that Epstein got charged with human trafficking to nobody. The same nobody that killed JFK. The same nobody that killed MLK. Same nobody that killed Robert Kennedy. Right? And then so on and so on. That same nobody.
They put in the bill. Oh, well, you have to sign this bill and pass it, and the bill has in it, we're never going to show anybody the Epstein files, but they're all saying, oh, well, we have to sign this bill to be able to pass it to get the Epstein files. So it's like, what?
Yeah.
It's just one big circle of bullshit.
It's like, wait, ain't it illegal to be having sex with children?
Yeah. Immoral.
Why hasn't nobody been arrested, guys? Does anybody know why nobody's been arrested?
It's because all of them that have done it are blocking it, but they're pretending that they're not blocking it.
They were either did it or they were
complicit.
Complicit and covering it up. Because if you knew about it and you didn't say nothing, you're complicit.
Can you imagine? What if they could make an AI video of you doing something like that? How could you say that wasn't you, that it was AI?
They're trying to confuse everybody so much with this.
I'm not saying that they're not. There's been, but they could also make.
You're saying the timing of the release of AI and all these files is pretty suspect.
Yes.
Because now people are in a position to where they can't believe anything they see or hear anymore anyway. So now it kind of frees people up from. They could literally show us. We could literally see real aliens on TV, and everybody would go, that's AI. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
So.
Well, like the guy was saying, there's always been interdimensional beings, right? What the Bible call angels and demons. The Hindu call them different things. But some people have been able to see it. Like people that do drugs sometimes see it. They can see past the veil. But DARPA also has their ones that they produce, right? So you wouldn't know if it's them doing it with their plasma beings or real ones. You see what I mean? Because our consciousness our level is higher, and it's going to get higher and higher, where you're going to be able to see through the veil. You might be able to see these interdimensional beings, but would it be real ones or they're fake ones?
See the position you're in?
Uh-huh.
All right. That's where discernment comes in.
Fox News alert, the House just passed a war powers resolution to end the war in Iran.
Oh, no. Don't do that. We won't make any more money via the military-industrial complex.
Final vote, 215-208, with 4 Republicans breaking rank, including Thomas Massie, who just lost his re-election bid. The vote would mean the president would have to seek out congressional approval for any future military action. The bill now is going to be voted on in the Senate, so we'll see what happens there. Even if it does pass out of the Senate, Trump will just veto it, so it's more symbolic. In other news, someone might have to clean up his cave because...
Oh, anyways, more military-industrial complex propaganda coming from Jesse Waters there, who still thinks moon landings are real and shit, and that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked children to nobody. So Fox News has been labeled as entertainment. Y'all need to go look that up. This isn't real news. It's been labeled as entertainment in court.
Yes.
Y'all know that, right? This is Fox News is owned by Disney? You're watching the Disney Channel. That's what I told a guy I was doing a remodel for, right? In the bathroom remodel. He was watching Fox News. I walked in and I was just being sarcastic like I am. I said, "Hey, good morning. I see you're watching Disney Channel." He looked at me like he was confused. And he said, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "Well, that's Fox News. It's owned by Disney." And he says, "Well, isn't that aren't they like enemies or something? Aren't they like, wouldn't that be a conflict of interest?" I said, "Well, Disney owns Fox, and you're watching the Disney Channel, so that it kind of, I guess how you try to tell people, but especially the older generation that still trusts all this shit, and they don't realize that the media it's legal now for them to lie to you about whatever they can sit here and tell you all kinds of. They can tell you that just like they did during Iraq. They can tell you that um, some 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 Arabs in a cave flew all the way over here across country, past all security checkpoints, and flew planes into buildings.
Yep.
And we looked for that those Arabs in caves for, I don't know, 10 years of my career, and they weren't. That's not where they were at. That's the power of the media, right? Like Bill Cooper said, how did the journalists from CNN find uh, Bin Laden before the military did?
Exactly. It's all
It's all
BS.
bullshit. Bullshit. So Jesse Waters is a shill. He'll say whatever his teleprompter wants him to say. He's a good little goy cheerleader. That, or he's a bloodthirsty, vile prick that's drooling for bloodshed. My mom likes him, so I hope he isn't evil. Just dumb. Well, he's one of the top. If you look at the Nielsen ratings, Jesse Waters and Defy are the most watched two shows. So that's what we're battling here. This may be the most revealing thing a modern journalist can say. 4 Republicans betrayed the party, not betrayed their constituents, like I was saying, not violated the Constitution, not committed a crime. They voted differently. The fact that some people now view disagreement as betrayal tells you everything you need to know about the state of political tribalism in America. Journalists are supposed to report votes, not assign loyalty scores. Congress
Right.
isn't supposed to be a rubber stamp for any president, political party, or media personality. If voting your conscience is betrayal, we've stopped being a republic and started acting like a cult.
That's right.
I heard that one, right? Facts, right? Those are facts. So this is from Clint Russell posted this at Liberty Rock Pod on X. I'm just sharing it. I like the comment section. You learn a lot in the comment section. I don't know if y'all visit the comment section, but you need to know the difference between a bot and a real person, right? Imagine Congress voting to get your campaign promises of no war done to come out and now say you were betrayed. It's funny how they have never put illegal in front of this war. Quite telling, isn't it? Hooray for peace. Blessed are the peacemakers. Right?
Yes.
Isn't that what it says? Isn't that what Jesus said? Blessed be the peacemakers, for shall be called the children of God.
Yeah. That's it.
Well, that can't be Netanyahu because he's constantly bombing the shit out of
Can't be
somebody.
any of them.
Can't be
Especially
Trump because
America.
he greenlights it. Can't be any of them. So it's like they didn't listen at all to they don't read the Constitution or the Bible. Was the comment here, I'm guessing. Yeah, Fox News is a joke. They have essentially accepted the role of propaganda machine just so they can continue to have access to and appear loyal to the president, which they don't. Keep in mind, Fox News was the first network to call the election for Joe Biden. And the same thing with Bush in 2000. Al Gore won, but Fox was the only channel that said that George Bush won. And then all the other networks had to change what they reported, and they all flipped. And then we started counting Chads for weeks on end. Remember that in Florida?
Yes.
They were holding papers up in the sky and counting little pieces of paper on a Chad. Then that's what brought in the digital, the voting machines. And then now they have access to the voting machines via the wireless internet.
Yes.
Done. So this has been going on for decades, guys. This isn't 2020 isn't just the beginning, it's just exposure to something that's been taking place. I think we all forgot what took place in 2000, right? Which is when they say the original debt forgiveness and all that was supposed to start. Then we went into World Trade Center being attacked and all that stuff. Timeline shifting, which keeps us further and further away from, because the closer you get to the goal or winning the game, they're like what 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds. They jump up and flip the table.
Yes.
They get pissed off, like
Mhm.
when you kick their ass in a video game and they finally lose, or you ever seen those movies where the
Oh, I
bully
do
finally
it.
gets his ass kicked
I'll
and he
still
doesn't
do
like
it.
it. So in other words, they get vindictive as shit. They're going to get real vindictive. So it's right before you cross that finish line, they're going to trip you. They're going to flip the table on us. That's what they're going to do. So be prepared for the table flip.
They're already starting to do it.
There's a
Right.
lot of people that are getting real weird.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what. Because people like that song, the opening song. People don't know how to react to certain things, right? They'll either lash out, they get angry, they or just get real depressed and cry. Right.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've
yeah.
been
So
there.
it's
I've been there
yeah.
with this. I've been pissed off. I've been
Hmm.
all of it.
Exactly.
Oh, better being pissed on is what I was told as a kid.
But yeah, you got to remember.
Somebody
You
laughed.
can't. You got to remember these people that are, uh, just don't come at them hard or nothing like that because people are going through things. You
Yeah.
don't know what they're going through. They might have lost a bunch of money. They might have lost their home. They might have lost their car. Um, and the only place they can lash out sometimes is social media.
Or in public.
Especially
Yeah.
if you want to contact your senators and leave a public timestamp and date
Yeah.
comment, you can go to X. All your senators' public pages are there. You leave your comments there for your senator on his shit. And then
Yeah.
when everybody in your community starts doing that, shit starts changing because the freaking inbox is flooded. But if you go to Ted Cruz's X account, if you go to any of these, there's not many people
Put the
telling, there's
pressure
not
on
many
them. Yeah.
people talk or saying, hey, I'm in your district. You need to be doing this. What the fuck are you doing in DC? Why do you stay in DC in Israel? Or why do you do this in China? Or why are you always in Ukraine? Or why are you always in another country doing something else besides your own district with your own constituents? We said no war, no regime change. Our voice matters, and our voice is the final authority.
Yes.
We have the authority. All power is inherent in the people, right? And I
And if you
read that.
see
That's it.
those, if you see those kind of like somebody standing up, make sure you like their post. Like if as long as every word in it is
Yes.
properly
Definitely.
done, make sure every word is correct. Because I won't like anything if it has one part that isn't right. Because you're signing up for the whole thing. So you have to stand up for people and help them because there's going to be a lot of people that jump on them, going the opposite way.
That's right. That's right. So they don't feel alone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
the,
So it,
the internet can feel very
Oh,
lonely at times when you're trying to do right.
that's right.
oh, I know. Wow. So it's a betrayal to be opposed to war in the Middle East on behalf of Israel? That's not my Republican Party, said Jim Jacobson. Right? He didn't. He's like, what? We voted for no war. Why are y'all acting like it's a betrayal because we don't like? Aren't the gas prices high enough for you fuckers? I know y'all are rich, but ain't it funny the people that are getting paid are the ones cheering on the war? Jesse, it's good for look, war is good for ratings. Jesse Waters knows this. His ratings are tanking because of the great noticing, the great awakening. People are realizing and they're going in and they're reading Smith Monk Modernization Act 2012 and they're realizing we've been lied to since at least Obama administration with the propaganda. It's been made legal to lie to us. So they're literally, instead of talking about the things that really matter and affect people, they're giving you a bunch of bullshit overseas. It's debate. It's like, look over there, not here. That's what I say. When they tell you there's a war in Iran, you need to look right here. When Trump says he's trying to free the Iranian people, how come he's not doing that here? Maybe that's your cue to say, hey, wait, is he telling us now's the time we need to free ourselves? But he can't
Yes.
tell us directly. He
Yes.
has to cheer on another country. Hey, Iran, now's the time to take back your country.
That's what I think.
Think of, hey, MAGA, now's the time to take back your country. Quit waiting for Trump. You have to do your part in your state, in your
It's
counties,
our
in your
job.
districts,
It's our
at
job.
your city council meetings. That's where the real power's at. All this federal shit in DC watching the poll being remodeled bullshit. Give me a break.
Yeah, we have a viewer that one of our members that went to a meeting for the data center and hardly anyone showed up. That's the problem.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
there's. You know what that is? Because if a million people showed up, God wouldn't get the glory.
That's right.
Because God doesn't need big numbers. Creator doesn't need big numbers. At Gideon, he only needed 300. They showed up with 32,000 soldiers.
But you know it's okay because she showed up, and that's what counts, right?
Sheepdog, you talking?
Yeah, can you hear that?
Did you
Yeah.
not hear it?
Can you
Now I
hear the
can.
video?
No, I don't see a video.
No, can you hear it?
No.
All right, well, here we go.
There you
go. And Gideon made a cry for all of the men of Israel, and he called for 3 or 4 tribes, and they came together, 32,000. And when the 32,000 got there, God said, I can't deliver you with all these folk. You got too many. See, we get comfort in how many folk are with us. Honey, are you with me or against me? Yeah, that's the gang concept. Every gang feels confident when he feels I got more folk in my gang than you got in your gang. But God said that if I deliver Israel from the Midianites with all this host you got, years to come, centuries to come, you'll be talking about how Israel got up, rose up, and delivered herself. But I want you to know that the only way I can get glory, it's got to be done in such a way where that you'll know you didn't do it with your numbers. And God cut down the number from 32,000. First, he told all the cowards to go home.
Go home.
God said, I'm going to do it, and all I need is just a small handful. I want you to know that when God gets ready to do his thing in your life, you don't have to worry about who's not with you. Never seen so many folk whining and crying about who's turned on me and who did this and who did that and who did the other. You just don't know. Sometimes God is trying to separate. He's trying to separate until he gets a sincere number.
Until he gets a sincere number.
Right.
He had to tell the cowards to go home. You know why? Because they looked down at the water while they were drinking. They were kneeling by the water instead of keeping their eyes on the enemy. So
right. They were paying attention.
God chooses Gideon's 300 soldiers. That's the story that comes from.
So
right?
You don't need a whole bunch of people to make something happen. You need the fire within to make something happen.
Present.
You do. I mean, and you have to be wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove, right?
Then Jerubbaal, also known as Gideon, got up early along with all of his soldiers. They encamped near the Harod spring. The Midian encampment lay in the valley of their north, near the hill of Morah. The Lord told Gideon, "You have too many soldiers with you for me to drop Midian into their hands, because Israel would become arrogant and say, 'It was my own abilities that delivered me.'" They would get their egos, right?
Yes.
That's why you're to ask in full view of the soldiers, "Whoever is afraid or is trembling, take your ass back home." Well, it says, "Whoever is afraid or trembling may go back from Mount Gideon and return home." So 22,000 soldiers left and 10,000 soldiers remained. So now he had to drop that number down again. That's what we're doing. That's what we're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Because you would say, "Oh yeah, we MAGA did it," or "Oh yeah, the Anons," oh yeah, all this bullshit,
or whoever,
right? And the glory wouldn't go to God. There has to be creator. There has to be somebody, a higher power, for them to have won that battle. There's no way in hell 300 is all they needed, right? He said he only needed a small handful to accomplish the mission. There's still too many soldiers, the Lord told Gideon. "Bring them down to the water, and I'll refine them for you there." What is refining? Right?
Forged.
Yeah, right.
Through the fire.
Therefore, when I say, go ahead.
Yeah, he was sharpening.
Yes.
Right, through the fire. Therefore, when I say to you, "This one will be going with you," He'll go with you, but no one may go about whom I tell you. This one won't be going with you. So he brought his soldiers down to the water, right? And the Lord told Gideon, you are to call out everyone who laps up water with his tongue like a dog. It looks like this, right? They're keeping their eyes up. All right. So he brought his soldiers down to the water, and the Lord told Gideon, you're about to call out everyone who laps up water with his tongue like a dog, from everyone who kneels to drink. The contingent of soldiers who lapped water with their hands to their mouths numbered 300 men, but everyone else kneeled to drink water. Then the Lord told Gideon, I'm going to deliver you with the 300 soldiers who lapped by giving the Mennonites into your control. Send everyone else back to their own homes. So the soldiers took provisions with them along with their trumpets, and Gideon sent all the rest of the soldiers of Israel back to their own tents, but he retained the 300 men, and the Midian encampment was below him in the valley.
Right. So it doesn't matter. It's the person. It's the people that have the passion and the will to go do it.
Not everybody is called to do certain things.
But
Everyone has their own
if
calling.
you feel that when you go,
That's what
right?
you do, right?
Like I was saying when we did that, went to the trucker rally, and we uh had everyone. We told everyone on Mike's show, right? Mike drove all the way from North Carolina to West Virginia.
Bunker
And
Hill.
do you know how many people showed up from the show? 3 people,
Trece.
which was a eye opener, right?
It's an important number, though.
That's
It is. But the point is that people say they're going to do something or they will do something online, but when it comes to actually doing something, they don't.
Like, it's like this. Everyone's a patriot until it's time to do patriot shit.
Right. It's
Okay.
true. It's true.
So that's what separates.
And there's nothing wrong with having to go home, because they all had their role, and hopefully they did it. It's if you're not ready, then you shouldn't be there.
Right.
No.
So that's where the sincere number comes in to
That's
play.
right.
That's why see, that's like the 3%ers, right?
Right.
And the 1%ers.
Yeah.
Or the
because it's-
military. Like, what percentage of Americans join the military? Less than 1%, maybe 1%, 1%. That's it. That's the cream of the crop.
Right. Because you have something.
3%ers. There's
You
not
have
many.
that. You have to go with what moves you, right? So if it's not going to a data center, if it's then something else that you're passionate about will help somebody else, right? Or make something happen.
All right.
But everyone has a calling.
That's it. So the American optimist. So we really don't have to have what they call a civil war, where people in their minds think that we're going to like grab our guns and go stand and point our guns at each other and shoot
That can't
in a
happen.
field, when a civil war is actually, there's nothing civil about a war. So civil war means there's a bunch of different people having to come to an agreement or discussion on something, right? That's civil. So what do we need? Educate. That's it.
That's
If
it.
we get educated, raise our IQs just a little bit, come out of our slumber, take back our authority, it's shit's over.
Right.
It's a wrap, and then you got your republic. But if everybody's uneducated and propagandized into oblivion by the mainstream media because Trump told you to watch the shit,
When he told you that was fake
and
news.
when he told you it was fake news, but
Right.
watch Mark Levin tonight at 8:30.
And he told you the polls were fake, and then people are believing the polls.
It's all fake. The whole thing.
It's
It's
like
a test. It's an
right,
IQ
it
test.
is.
It's a litmus test. It's a cognitive test.
It is.
So why
And
does
that's why
Trump keep talking about the cognitive test?
test.
That's what we're doing. Cognitive test. Who's got amnesia? Who's got dementia? Who remembers? Who doesn't remember? Who remembers who they are?
Who's repeating?
How do you find out who's who?
Who's in the loop?
How do you find out who's who? Right? Put them
Who's
through the
stuck
fire.
on the roller coaster?
Put them through the fire. Let's see who the ones that lap up the water with their tongues like a dog,
Right.
and then who's the ones that kneel down, and then you separate until you get a sincere number, and then there you got it.
And then
The cream rises to the top.
and then mountains can be moved.
Mountains move. So I'm astonished that Waters used betraying the party as a prerogative I want elected reps to betray the party all day, every day if the party sucks. I used to watch Fox, and now I feel like I'm in a like live in a different universe when watching it. Um, Blaming Fox News is feature cheap. Yeah, it's the betrayal he's referring to is that Congress did something that the people actually wanted. The people, but so 70% of the U.S. population is against the war. So now you're calling it betrayal because a politician didn't vote. I'm shocked that all of them voted for a war. I'm shocked. That shows you exactly who they serve. The greater Israel and Netanyahu, right? Shabbat Shalom, daddy's home. Daddy wants a war, daddy gets it, right? Or Samson option, huh? You get that Samson option, right? Never go full retard. They all went full retard, guys. Straight up. So people, they say get into their, what does it say? Call your representatives, email them. I say go to their X accounts and drop them and let them know how you feel about their voting against your what you elected Donald Trump for, right? And then playing political games with wars. Real people are dying and struggling in America, and you're worried about a war for so billionaires and oligarchs and bankers can make more money. You know that the gap between the middle class and the billionaire class has increased by 20%. Why is that? Shouldn't it be the opposite? Shouldn't the middle class have gotten 20% closer to the billionaire class if we're in that kind of economy that serves the people? Yeah, but that's not where we're at. So the wealth transfer. They're sucking up all the money, but I think it's going to be taken from them. Something's going to happen to where everybody that's invested in all that shit is going to lose.
Yeah,
I don't see
I don't
that
think it's against the
average everyday people.
right. I think it's the ones that have like lots of money or a lot of investments, and maybe to track where these investments are going, right? 'Cause there's a lot of backdoor stuff they were doing with all these things. I believe that's my theory.
All right. All right. So that's that for that topic. So we covered that. Let's go
to nomads, but we're gonna have to find a happy medium where we slowly leave this insane system to start building little communities with our little gardens and our little fruit stands, and the government wants to regulate us. You know what? We just bought land, we started our own religion. Is that the rules that you can't touch us? Okay, we're called the fruit religion. Go away. You're not allowed here. We got our own rules. We don't pay taxes, so we're not part of your system. And in that world, there's no news. There's none of that. You're just living for how do we get by today? How do I take care of my child today? How do I take care of my wife today? How do I look after this one? How do I make myself better today so I can feed all this? We're here to serve everything. I don't know, maybe one day.
All right, we can only wish, right, and dream. But he talked about, let me play this again real quick for this
We
one.
don't have to go back to nomads, but we're gonna have to find.
So you don't have to go back to nomads, but you need to go back to the foundation,
The roots.
roots, right? And then when you go to the roots, you trace that up and you get the fruit straight from the root.
To the fruit.
And guess what? You start getting healed because you get
it.
all your nutrients and stuff come from the fruit. And at early stages, what happens is when they pick the fruits, and by the time you get it, a lot of the stuff that's good for you has already been depleted,
Yes.
right? According to the research.
And cooking, right? They're talking about back then they used to cook things that you would cook all day. The slower you cook something on a low heat,
Yeah.
the more nutrients stays within the food, and which makes sense. Like, and it tastes better. Like when you make something in a crock pot on low, it's like real moist. The meat's real moist. The flavor's way better, but it keeps the nutrients. And see, we cook everything so fast, like the
High
microwave
heat.
kills all the nutrients. High heat kills all the nutrients.
Right. So growing your own food improves health. It reduces environmental impact, enhances self-sufficiency, which is key because that way they don't have control over your food no more, and it promotes mental and physical well-being. Like when you got a reason to wake up every day, and you got plants out there producing free food, and it ignites that child within you, even if you're 60, 70, 80 years old. You see the magic in
It
creation.
is. It is.
It's beautiful. Everything's been
Awesome.
provided.
Right? Like we had some
So that
wild berries down. We picked it's free, raspberries, and I made jelly out of it. Right?
Yeah, I pick. Oh, raspberry. If y'all, I don't know if y'all have the raspberries in your area, but if you do, now's the time to go be checking it because I've already gotten two. Just walking tree lines, I've gotten two mason jars.
Yeah.
But at first it was small, then I noticed there were still some that hasn't ripened yet. So I went back a week later, and man, my yields have doubled.
Right?
So
And
there's
I
still
made two
more.
big jars of
Right. So,
jam.
but growing your own food promotes mental and physical well-being. Homegrown food is often fresher and more nutritious than store-bought produce because it can be harvested at peak ripeness, preserving vitamins right here and antioxidants, right? Think about that. Why do the tomatoes at the store taste different than the ones coming right off the vine? They're all growing from a tomato plant, right? Well, it's the time that it's has been picked has been so long that now you're dealing with maybe that changes the flavor. So by controlling how your food is grown, you can avoid harmful pesticides and chemicals, ensuring cleaner and safer meals. Your gardening also encourages increased vegetable consumption, right? Now you got all these vegetables you got to eat, right? And experimentation, right? With new recipes, supporting a healthier diet. Additionally, gardening itself is a low impact physical activity, improving strength, your flexibility, and cardiovascular health, right? But your mental health is key, and that's what's going to get us through these times of this uncertainty on TV.
Yes.
Is realizing that we can take matters into our own hands and make the change. We can't change the world, but we can change ourselves and our homestead and our castle,
Our world. Yes.
our world. You can make
Our
your
reality.
home your sanctuary, your third temple, whatever the hell you want to call it, right?
That's
That
it.
should be it. Screw that rest of the noise in the world. Be proactive, right? Like Christine said from uh, Pet Club,
Yes.
right? Be proactive, research,
Right.
right? So growing your own food reduces your carbon footprint by eliminating the need for long distance transportation, packaging, and industrial farming practices. Local homegrown produce requires less water, fewer chemicals, and less energy, especially when using native plants suited to your climate. Ones that produce, that's what a lot of people want to grow food in their climate, but it is those some of those plants may not be able to grow there. And so you got to find out what I found out that squash and zucchini is pretty easy to produces a lot of
Really
food,
easy.
and it's real easy. It's not a whole lot of maintenance thing. I got one
And it
outside that's
grows a
5 foot
lot.
tall.
Yes.
So this is all about food security and sustainability. So by cultivating your own food, you decrease your reliance on industrial food systems, and that's how the people in the Great Depression made it through.
That's
I don't
it.
think they were depressed. I think it was the opposite. Maybe the people that lost their money during the Great Depression was depressed,
Yes.
but the farmers weren't depressed.
No.
They had food.
They had food.
They weren't retarded. They weren't. You see what I'm saying? They weren't pulled from the land. They knew exact. I mean, how can you destabilize a people if they're connected to the earth
That's it.
and they know where to get their
It
food
was
and
the ones
how
that were dependent
on the
maybe the more
materialistic,
wealthier.
the ones that could afford
Right.
to pay somebody to build their home, or
Right.
one that can afford to pay somebody to grow their crops.
That's it. And you remember right before the Great Depression, they deported a bunch of Hispanics that was picking the field. So if you relied on that, then yeah, you would have been suffering. But if you had your own garden, your own land, or your own farm, you're you're doing okay. You were doing what you always did.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
that
finance.
oh sorry.
Good.
Did something with deporting the Hispanics, which has just happened, and then you have
Mm-hmm.
this 401k thing, the Great Depression. And so That's weird timing.
Yeah, it sure is. It's history repeating too.
Yeah, it's repeating. You just got to learn from it.
That's it.
What did my ancestors do that got them through? Because we wouldn't be here today if your grandma and grandpa pussied out in the 20s and 30s and couldn't survive. You wouldn't be here today. So apparently you
That's
had
right.
strong grandparents and great grandparents. They were strong. They made it through. That's why you're here.
Right.
So the people that didn't make it through during the Great Depression aren't here to talk about it through their grandchildren. So you come from a long line of warriors and people that can survive in all different types of situations.
Yes.
So financial and practical advantages. Even a small garden can save money on groceries, particularly for high value crops like herbs, your leafy greens, and tomatoes. Over time, the investment in the seeds, soil, and tools often pays off with abundant, cost effective produce. Growing your own food also provides self sufficiency, offering a reliable food source during emergencies, supply chain disruptions. Like if you can make bread and stuff like that, that's a good thing.
Which we started doing.
Yeah, we're starting to make bread. Or economic downturns. Like we went to the grocery store the other day and I didn't have to buy any bread for the first time in like,
Right. I started making, and
not that we
it's
ate a lot of bread, but sandwiches. Whenever I would get
yes,
Miss
and it
Sheepdog likes to make me
tastes
sandwiches.
so much better, and it molded within 4 days.
Holy shit! I seen mold on the bread for the first time in 20 years.
So we put it out for the birds, but yeah, it's so much better. And then with the homemade jelly, oh, is way better.
So here's another important part of gardening: mental and social well-being. Right? Gardening has been just so you're like, well, Sheepdog, it's June 5th. Well, it's not too late to start a garden. Like growing, especially down here in the South, goes all the way till November.
Yep,
Like sometimes December, I still have stuff producing. Mental health and social well-being. It reduces stress.
it does.
It lowers uh,
Cortisol.
cortisol levels, and it improves your mood.
It does. It really
Right.
does.
My neighbors are always bragging about my stuff. My neighbors are Googling pink fang tomatoes.
Oh yeah, they just started coming in. They're green right now,
I'm
but
growing pink fang tomatoes, and my neighbors are tripping out. Like, what is that?
yes, one of our members sent me some of the seeds, and they're coming out great. But they're supposed to be the best for like making tomato paste or tomato sauce.
Yeah. Also, when you're gardening, make sure that if it's you check for snakes around the gardens because they like to get up in there.
Yes.
I got bit 4 years ago messing with my garden by a
Yep.
copperhead on my foot.
Yep.
But what happens is a lot of elderly people get out there in the garden and they ain't checking the gardens, and these snakes are popping them on their hand. Make sure you're wearing gloves, shit like that.
Or take a stick
Just
and
be a little
grab.
bit extra cautious during these seasons with the
Yes. Take a stick and kind of hit
get
it
shake
around
around
before
in
you
there.
go sticking your hand in there.
So garden has been shown to reduce stress, lower cortisol, and improve mood, providing a sense of accomplishment. That's it right there. And connection to nature. This is important. And being barefooted and grounding. So spending time outdoors increases vitamin D levels, oxygen intake, and overall mental clarity. Sharing homegrown produce with family, friends, or even your community gardens fosters social connection and community engagement.
And that does.
Conclusion? Go ahead.
It does because our neighbors come over and check out what we have.
Yeah, we already got a bartering thing going on.
Yeah, yeah. I make her some salves.
We do, yeah.
She gives us stuff. And yeah,
Everything I make, I give to my neighbors. The fridge, I don't charge. We don't sell our neighbors nothing.
right,
This is for our community. That's why we make this stuff, right?
right.
So growing your own food is not just about producing vegetables and fruits. It is a holistic practice that enhances your health, supports the environment, saves money, and improves mental and physical well-being, whether through a backyard garden or container gardening is good, or community plots. That's another thing. Community plots. Cultivating your own food empowers you to take control of your diet, reduces environmental impact, and enjoying satisfaction of nurturing life from seed to table. And on my street, I'm not just the only one gardening. There's an 85-year-old man at the end of the street who puts out a garden at the same spot
Yeah, he's got
and
a
grows
big
the
one.
same thing every year. And his other neighbor across, he's an old timer as well. They're in their 70s, and they got their old tractors out there, and they just rutted up a couple of different little plots, and they just put their okra, their beans, in a little plot. Then he goes out there in a few months, and he'll get and he'll just be picking from it all throughout the season, just picking, 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 picking. You'll see him out there picking from it. But that 85-year-old man, he's on his every time I see him, it looks like he's not. I think he's got maybe a home care provider or nurse that comes and checks on him, but he still sits out there, even if he has to sit in his chair and water his garden.
Yes.
Like he's still connected. Like no matter what's going on in the world, that man makes sure that that garden's grown every year, and I don't want to see that go away. And I only see the elderly people doing it still.
We even
But
have,
when I grew up, it was my great grandma had the biggest garden tomato. We ran through there, picked all the tomatoes, and we either ate them or threw them on the ground. And my grandma, she got so pissed because we would come over there and terrorize her garden.
we even have the guy at the corner store giving us free fresh farm eggs now.
Farm eggs.
Yeah. So people are getting involved in doing, and I've seen more gardens this year than I have last couple of years, right?
Yeah.
Here.
Oh yeah. People are. We didn't go full retard. We still kind of realized that we can grow our own food, and we're not. This isn't idiocracy.
That's right.
I think this is really interesting to think about. This is a copper tin pan right here. And this is how they used to cook. They actually used to use a very low heat. If you think about it, we use high heat now. What do you think high heat's doing? It's stripping a lot of the nutrients. And when you do a low heat and you do a slow cook, then there's a completely different thing that takes place. And what I've noticed is from copper pans, so specifically, copper pans, right? Anything that's cooked in it crystallizes. At a low heat, it crystallizes. But at a high heat, it becomes like rubber. So when you're thinking about what you're cooking with, you should also think about the materials and the heat that you are potentially using. And that's why I wanted to kind of bring this in. This is how they used to cook back in the day, copper tin. These were the old school pans. Back in the 1800s, everybody used copper tin. You had to use a low heat, otherwise the tin would melt. And think about it. The slower you cook something, the better the flavor. You always get a better flavor. You got these like slow cookers that cook something for 3 hours, or you for 3 hours, or you air dry something, because I've done that too, for 3 hours. You're using extended periods of time. So when you think about with the old copper tin pans and how people used to do the little slow cook and cook all their food, that's where the flavor would come out.
We watch overseas, we watch these cooking things. I like to watch other countries and what they cook and stuff. And they use those right here. They have people that make those copper pans, and they tin it, and they all cook with these things.
Yeah. So all I need is a sheet of copper. If anybody's got a roll of copper,
Yes.
so many gauge, let me know.
We'll make you a
Looking
pan.
for a big roll of copper so I can make some circle cutouts and fold these. So I'm learning how to tin. You tin.
Yes.
You can also do this at yourself,
Yeah,
right?
you just get the tin, the powder.
Making your own utensils again with copper.
That's it.
But tinning keeps it
The heat regulated.
like when when you're cooking with certain foods that are acidic or whatever, and how it reacts to the copper. So the tinning keeps that from process from taking place. So
Plus the copper gets really hot, so the tin kind of
it heats evenly. So like you said, cook slower. See how you look at it, and then over time you just re-tin your pans. It's not hard. You can do it
And
yourself.
you clean it with salt.
Right. So these are actually dishes that you want to pass down to your grandchildren. This isn't Walmart shit. You want, and then I wouldn't even buy copper pan. I would actually find somebody foraging it. Like
The
they have a
copper,
lot of people.
if you go look at copper pans, they're expensive.
Yeah.
Real expensive.
Yeah.
It's a very low heat. If you think about it, we use high.
Yeah, you see that high heat right there in the center of that? You're just burning the shit, all the nutrients out. That's why Miss Sheepdog was talking about the crock pot and why the food tastes so good in the crock pot.
It does.
Because it's slow cooked.
It's
all the
slow.
flavors, everything's, and then the food tastes better like days later.
Oh,
the next day is even better.
Oh, in the crock pot, you can put it back in there the next day too, and then you don't have to use a microwave.
That's it. The microwave zaps all the nutrition out.
I have my grandma passed down her crock pot to me, so I have and then my mom passed it to me. So I have an it's kind of old school crock pot that actually, when you turn it on, boy, it gets hot.
Yeah, it does.
It ain't like the newer crock pots where it's
right.
But the older crock pot, the better, right?
Oh yeah, and it's big, huge.
Yeah.
You can put a whole entire roast in there, and potatoes and carrots and everything.
Damn.
Yeah, it's big.
That sounds like crawfish bowl.
It's an old one, but they made the older ones better.
Yeah, I only use that. Usually just cook for myself and then, just one serving. And then sometimes I have to, maybe once every 3 months or 4 months, the microwave. I'm like, oh, geez, I don't want to not have the rest of this, but I don't want to use the microwave. So I've got to, think for a little while,
Right?
beat myself up. Yeah. So, yeah, the crock pot, I can, yeah, I can use that.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
so simple when it comes to food cooking. Oh, I'm terrible.
New 84 said broken down refrigerators and air conditionings hold plenty of copper
Yeah.
that just get thrown into the. So, yeah, that's a great idea.
Well, it doesn't get thrown away around here. I keep all the copper
Yeah,
from
he
the.
does. He
I keep it.
takes it
If I take
apart.
apart an old AC,
Hmm.
I got one that's. I got the two reefers outside that I haven't even took apart yet. Like I keep all the copper, but as far as like a sheet to make these pans, you need a sheet about. You see how wide that pan is, and then you roll it out, and then you take your scribe, you do the pie, 2.14, figure out what size pan or pot you're making, cut that circle out, and then bend the edges up, and then cut around the edges of that bottom of the pan so it'll fit then you roll another piece, which is the lip of the pan, and then you have to solder that together, right? Mend that together, those two pieces, and then put a handle on it.
Yes.
It's not a hard process. It's just finding a good roll of copper, the right copper material to make it from. That's it. And then you could do it yourself. You get you some tin snips, cut your circle out, bend your lips up around the edges. There's a lot of videos on YouTube if you want to do this,
Yes.
right? And
They
it's
do a
also
lot
if
of
you're a
those.
man or right, and you're looking for a hobby or something to do, you want to make some shit for your wife, Christmas or something, whatever the hell the case may be, anniversary coming up. You want to impress her, make her some pots and pans,
That will last
last
for
a
a long
lifetime,
time. Yes.
right? It's really not hard to do. It just takes patience but it's fun. But this is all a part of the alchemical process of foraging, right? Going through the fire, melting, and creating something out of nothing, right? Taking a piece of copper and then making it something useful, right? That's like if the gold market collapses and silver market collapses, it all goes to zero. You can take all that gold and silver and then make pots and cups and pans out of it until it goes back up, and then you melt it back down, and
Yeah,
right.
that's it.
Well, think about that. If gold went so cheap or silver went so cheap that you could actually have your cup, your paint, your cups and stuff of gold and silver, like that, the health benefits from that alone.
Oh, yeah.
Think about it, right? Now, because we're drinking out of with the plastic cups with the PFAS and all that out of the bottles. We're not. We've changed what we've
Put
consumed.
contained it in.
Right,
Right.
right.
Called leaders. They never preach love and God. You never hear real love, God inspiring stories. They preach war, they preach hate, they preach judgment, they preach bombing, why we gotta bomb. They try to convince you why we have to murder people we've never met, we've never talked to, we know nothing about except for what they want to show us. To me, that's pure demonic evil, and it's coward. You're a coward.
Yep,
That's
true.
what they do all day long.
They
Try to
don't
convince
preach
you.
love and unity and
It's
inspiring stories. They tell you they preach hate,
hate,
division, chaos, fear.
which keeps you out of balance with Creator.
Yes.
Did you guys see this? CNN just cut the feed on Tulsi Gabbard right as she was exposing the most serious act of treason that this country has seen in 75 plus years. Obama, Hillary, high-level betrayal tied to criminal shit that should have made headlines for a fucking century. They yanked the feed mid-sentence. It wasn't some tech glitch. It was a clean cut the moment that she started connecting the dots too publicly and she started dropping names. These people are all complicit. The media is rigged. Think about everything that you're seeing right now going on with politics, going on with the news, all the bullshit you're seeing right now. You really think all this chaos is just random? The race baiting, the left versus right bullshit, the constant division, the CEO of some company going to a Coldplay concert with his HR rep, whatever the fuck that was. You think it's coincidental that it's on everybody's fucking newsfeed right now? You think that's just random? None of it is accidental. It's all for a reason. It's a smokescreen. And if it feels like there's some nonstop whirlwind of bullshit that's going on right now, you're not crazy. That's how they hide the real crimes. Talking about thousands of abused kids. Not one fucking conviction. Ghislaine Maxwell is locked up for trafficking victims to who? No names? No trials? No justice? Like, what the fuck is this shit? You should be fucking appalled. And they know it. So they keep you distracted. And if you're not awake by now, you're either high or you're checked the fuck out. Tulsi finally got too close to the truth. So Obama and Hillary will probably take the fall for something watered down, right? While the real crimes, the ones against children, they'll just stay buried, just like they always do. This is the level of corruption that we're dealing with. It's psychological warfare meant to keep you distracted. It's meant to keep you angry and just lucid enough to think, well, at least they finally got somebody, right? But these people will never see any real prison time. And the victims, they'll probably never see any real justice. Instead, they keep us in these endless loops, fighting each other, think we're making a difference, just screaming into the wind. Meanwhile, they all walk free. Because as long as we're pointing fingers at each other, we're not pointing fingers at them. And that's the truth. It was never black versus white. It was never gay versus straight. It was never right versus left. It's the elites versus us. And they're winning because we keep falling for it. They steal your money. They censor your voice. They sell out your country, and then they call it progress. You want to know when this ends? It ends when enough people say we're done playing this stupid fucking game. And until then, they'll just keep taking you to town. They'll keep bleeding you dry. And for all of you who still think this is some right versus left controversy, just stop for a second. Forget the flag hat. Forget the shirt that you think is too small. Just hear me out instead of calling me some racist, or a fascist, or a Trumper, or a maggot, or a bootlicker. This is the truth. It's not a conspiracy. Just power-hungry lunatics hell-bent on control. And it's time that we wake the fuck up before it's too late.
That's right.
Yep. Every time we say no, like end game, like that's how we are, like with the Matrix. Whenever you say end game, no more voting. End game, no more bootlicking cops. The end game, like that's how you get that program to stop. So it is just like a video game.
But hey, look at that pool. Look at that pool. Oh, wow. Look at the water coming from it. It's so beautiful. It's the greatest water ever to come out of a pool. Look. See the distraction?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, no arrest. Oh, look, people in handcuffs being nope, that's not. It's just water coming out of a pool. Yeah, Grandpa wanted to do is redo his pool, right? I'm impressed with this administration because he's doing everything but what he said he was going to do.
Yes.
So I'm impressed with the fact that he's doing it. Like it's really impressive to watch. It's like holy shit! Could you just accomplish one freaking campaign promise? Just one.
The concentration, the commitment, it's all there. It's just in the wrong way.
That's right.
But look at the poll, guys.
This is from just a little while ago. Nice clean water. So we're here to talk about clean, beautiful coal. That's clean, beautiful water. That's the longest pool anywhere in the world. And here you can tell they're not progressive because this is not a progressive because progressives never wear or show an American flag. These are proud people from Oklahoma. They came from Oklahoma, a company from Oklahoma to do it. But you notice the American flag, he's proudly showing off his work. You know he's not a liberal and or a progressive.
See the division?
Mm-hmm.
See how he's alienating half the country? That if you don't carry a U.S. flag, you're a traitor. You're not a patriot. You don't love America. You see that? That's the messaging coming from the very top down.
Yes.
That's the divide and conquer, right? They want you to hate your liberal neighbors, your Democrat neighbors, and then vice versa, right? I know people flying that flag that are pissed off at this dude, and they're patriots. Does that make them not patriots? So the constant division.
Used to be liberal, but they changed their name somewhere along the way because liberal wasn't working, but progressive.
So we're just trolling the liberals. Can we get some justice to be served here? When's that going to happen? Are you going to have the DOJ take down the deep state? We're going to drain the swamp. We're going to have deep state arrests. We're going to clean up. What are we doing here? Oh, the pool. Take a look at the pool.
Which is
Oh,
what? The reflecting pool. Which
reflect.
to me is the mirror.
Right.
And I'm going to read something on that after you're done.
Doesn't work too. Well, the progressive is a beautiful term. They are not progressive. They're degressive. You got that? What do you think? Huh? He's a great reporter. And again, we have a picture of a gentleman in a cart. Proudly, this is the head of construction for the job. So you can see it's just finished. This is just minutes before. And there's a gentleman named Secretary Burgum from Interior, Doug, who's been doing an incredible job. So Doug, we have 22 waterfalls. Most of them haven't worked for over 50 years. As of this morning,
It's like when you go to your grandpa's house and he tells you about all of his home improvements and why everyone is struggling financially. He's like, come and check out our new kitchen. Your
Yeah.
mom wanted to change the paint. And then when we would go to paint it, she wanted all new cabinets. And we're like, damn, how are you remodeling your home in a great recession? What, what did you do? Anyways. So the point of this is you see how they divide half the country, alienate half the country. So if he was a president, he's supposed to be a president of both sides, not just the Republican Party president.
Right.
That shit,
It's
that's
supposed to be
bullshit.
neutral.
It's supposed to be the president's supposed to be neutral
He's the president
and
for the
serve
entire
all of
right?
Americans, not just the Republicans.
Right, and
That's
what
retarded.
this left right tend to do. You're
That's
either
retarded.
left or you're right.
That's why
It's
they call it.
It's us, the people.
And then the liberal Democrats do the same shit.
Yeah.
So you
People
got
just have to stop labeling themselves this thing, that thing. The labels have got to go. Like
Well, you
that.
got-
Yeah.
Shoof.
The liberals are called what? Libtards.
Yeah.
And the Republicans are called what? Retards. That's how that works. Libtards and retards just battling it out while the country just fucking collapses. Grandma's trying to make ends meet on Social Security. Cost of living is going up. Inflation's going through the roof. Power, gas prices, food prices, et cetera, et cetera. So people living paycheck to paycheck and trying to make ends meet they don't even go on the radar of this administration or any administration I've seen.
So think about this: if AI's mirroring us, are we getting this crap because of us? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a reflection of us as a society, and we're getting back what we're expressing.
We're
right?
only as good as our weakest link.
Right. So I just wanted to read this real quick on this is from the Ancient Order of Hermetics. It says the mirror most people fear. One of the greatest lessons of Hermetics is that the outer world often reveals the inner world. This is why social media has become one of the most fascinating laboratories of human consciousness ever created. Some people arrive seeking knowledge. Some arrive seeking understanding. Some arrive seeking genuine discussion and the exchange of ideas. But others arrive carrying anger, resentment, jealousy, bitterness, unresolved wounds. They do not come to learn, they come to attack. They contribute little beyond criticism, insults, assumptions, and opinions masquerading as truth. The Hermetic student should observe this carefully. Why? Because every reaction reveals something. The principle of mentalism teaches that all experiences is filtered through the mind. That's why Trump had the mentalist there at the thing, right? We do not see things merely as they are. We often see them as we are. A person at peace tends to bring peace. A person consumed by conflict tends to find conflict everywhere. A person carrying resentment often discovers enemies in every room they enter. This is why the wise initiate learns to observe not only the words of others, but also the forces driving those words. When someone becomes enraged by a simple idea, attacked by a different perspective, or obsessed with tearing others down, the question is not always, what are they reacting to? The deeper question is, what within them is being touched, right? So something's triggering them. Hermetic wisdom teaches that much of what humanity condemns is in others is often something unrecognized within themselves. The loudest accusation frequently reveals the deepest insecurities. The harshest judgment often exposes the wounds that have not yet healed. The greatest grievance sometimes point directly towards lessons we have not learned. This is why ancient sages repeatedly emphasize self-knowledge. Before judging another, examine yourself. Before condemning another, understand yourself. Before attempting to correct the world, master your own thoughts, emotions, and reactions. This does not mean becoming passive. This does not mean accepting falsehood. It does not mean refusing to stand for truth. It means refusing to become emotionally enslaved by every disagreement, insult, or provoke, provoca, I can't say that, provocation, or a challenge that appears before you. The true hermetic stands under this. True hermetic student understands that every encounter contains a lesson. Every criticism contains an opportunity for examination. Every conflict contains an opportunity for self mastery. Every adversary contains a possibility of becoming a teacher. When I am wrong, I seek correction. When I make mistakes, I own them. When I fail, I learn from them. That is the path of growth. But I will not sacrifice my peace to endless arguments driven by ego, hostility, or the need to be right. The principle of polarity teaches us that hatred and understanding occupy opposite ends of the same spectrum. The work of initiate is not to descend into lower vibrations, but consciously transmute them into higher ones. Many people spend their lives trying to change everyone around them. The hermetic path begins by changing oneself. And perhaps that's why so many people fear mirrors. Not because the mirrors lie, but because mirrors reveal. The next time someone points a finger and condemns, attacks, or projects their anger onto another, remember 3 fingers point back towards the one making the accusation. The
Oh,
person that are attacking may not be the enemy at all. They may simply be the mirror revealing what remains unresolved within them. And for those walking the hermetic path, every mirror is an invitation not to judge, but to awaken. Know thyself remains one of the greatest teachings ever because the greatest mysteries of the universe often begin with the mysteries within ourselves.
yeah. Good read. Good read.
Yeah, I love his stuff. He always
All
puts
right.
out good stuff.
So I was talking about the elderly, right? Struggling to make ends meet, and they're having to work. And some of them have the reason some of them stay at work. What the reason some of them stay at work? I'm just finishing out, and then I go. The reason why some of them stay at work is because a lot of their friends have passed away. Their family members, they don't have any friends, so actually going to work keeps them in a loop of and around other humans.
Yes.
But here we have this was a video that went viral. 85-year-old lady, she's working at the movie theater to make ends meet. That's what makes me mad. When you talk about we're the richest country on the planet, but yet grandma's 85-year-old still, you don't have nothing figured out for her.
Hmm.
85-year-old elderly woman working at AMC. So Mary Ellen Aron of Maryville, Tennessee, was seen on camera hauling a heavy garbage bag. So a bunch of people came together and helped her out. They raised a bunch of money for her, about $150,000. They cut off the funding for her at 150,000. So they're overwhelmed and blessed from the Lord. Thank you, wonderful people. Thank you, Mary said. Over 75, only 7,500 people donated. That's it. It's all it takes. I know that I've seen where only a few hundred people
Yeah, I
have
mean, it
helped.
can make a huge difference.
But this is when you see something, say something, and do something.
That's it.
When you stand beside the ocean, whenever one door closes, I hope one more open. That you'll give faith a fight.
Thank you so very much to all the wonderful people that have donated money to the GoFundMe, and I'm overwhelmed and certainly blessed by the Lord and you wonderful people. Thank you once more.
Can you imagine seeing an 85-year-old woman? That's what I don't like about Walmart. The door greeters are like elderly standing there. I'm like, oh my God,
Right?
my grandma's working at Walmart.
Well, some of it do it because they have to. Some do it because they're bored and have nothing else. They want to do something. So
like this, like Truth is Light. He says, I work with a lot of older people that need to be retired and figure, well, they're just still in debt and didn't get their lives together. But the more I talk with them, I realize they're scared to retire. They don't have any friends, or the most of their friends and spouses have passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So they passed away. So the work is really all they have left, which is sad.
Right. So they can have interaction with people.
Mm-hmm. And a few of them had said this in my exercise. I sit at home. If I sit at home, they say, I'll just die. So they stay active. Right.
Yeah.
The management who hired her actually is ill. No form of compassion for an 85-year-old woman. Right. Can you imagine a lady 85 years old coming and filling out an application at your business?
That's
That'd
why
break
we
my
need
heart.
communities where elderly would have something to do, right? They could teach the elders have wisdom that they could teach the younger. They also have knowledge that a lot of us forgot or didn't get from our parents.
Right. All right. So we're going to switch over to, going to transition here to, what's this next topic, Ms. Sheepdog? Native American slave owners.
The first slaves
Forgotten history.
were Irish. The Irish was the first slaves in America.
I tell you, I want my reparations, man.
I'm telling you.
I want my reparations. Where's my money? Show me the money.
Not only from here, but from Ireland, where they let that happen.
You know, white slaves were sold in the 17th century more than blacks in America, with a staggering death rate between 37% to 50%. This is the story the history books will not tell you, nor will they teach it in school. Irish and black slaves were shipped to the sugar plantations in Barbados. Modern-day historians call the white slaves indentured servants, and they never refer to them as slaves. These white slaves had to work 14 hours a day with no wages in the worst working conditions, equivalent to the same harsh, hard labor that existed in the Gulag.
Forgotten history.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Yes, drill sergeant. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was muted.
Oh no.
And after battle.
All right, here we go. Happy Friday, y'all. We're celebrating 250 years of Fridays tonight. So happy Friday 250.
Slavery is as old as civilization. Every culture and society practiced it, and were also victims of it. The North American Indians were no different. Various tribes enslaved other tribes, usually through raids and after battles, capturing their quarry. This included men, women, and children. Native Americans also captured whites and also had black slaves from the colonial period until the end of the Civil War. How common was Native American enslavement? Were there any major differences between Indian slave owners and other ethnic slave owners? Which tribes were the most notorious for enslaving others? Hello, I'm Colin Heaton, a veteran of the United States Army and Marine Corps, former history professor, book author, and welcome to this episode of Forgotten History.
Y'all go like, share, subscribe. Forgotten History. We shared this the other day,
Yeah,
right?
he has really good stuff on there.
Many tribes practiced slavery. However, their primary practice was not based upon race, but more on their differences in tribal customs and the conflict between tribes over territory and resources. Many times, slaves were taken to replace those who had been killed, especially as laborers. Children who were orphaned were usually brought up within the tribe as their own, without distinction. This was also true of white captives, such as the famous story of Comanche chief Quanah Parker's mother. She was captured as a young girl and brought up as Comanche, and when forcibly returned to white society, she could not assimilate. But many Indian cultures captured or accepted runaway black slaves, and not all tribes treated them the same way. In the Iroquois nation of New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, which was actually comprised of the 5 original Iroquois nations, which
That's in your area, right, Nadine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where are you at? This the Finger Lakes right here. You see it?
Yeah. I'm down by Albany.
Yeah, I heard the wine is really good around there.
Oh, good Lord, no. I wouldn't. That's, yeah, I wouldn't even want to go up there. And, yeah. Hunter Biden.
So I'm sure it's pretty beautiful. I'm sure it's beautiful out there. I know a lot of people who live out there. So
Oh, it is beautiful. On the way to Canada, it is really
yeah,
beautiful, and you have to make sure you have enough gas in your car because there aren't any gas stations like for a long stretch. But yeah, it's beautiful, huge.
yeah. There's Syracuse University right there. All right, here we go.
comprised the Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, and Seneca. It was not uncommon and chronicled by the French that the Iroquois tribes were rather ruthless in the rage to capture slaves, black or white, and the captives often underwent very long, painful, and humiliating torture sessions to break their spirits. But in the colonies, in the mid-1760s, New York requested, as a requirement of treaties with the Huron and Delaware tribes, that they had to return escaped slaves, yet the record does not reflect that any were in fact returned. In fact, those that we call the 5 civilized tribes in the southeast United States, which were actually given that name due to their adoption of many European cultural values, to include centralized forms of representative government, conversion to Christianity, education and literacy, intermarriage with whites, and of course, their participation in the ownership of black slaves. Much of this cultural assimilation was due to the belief by the tribes that if they acquiesced and adopted European methods, then they would not be persecuted themselves and pushed off their lands. These Native American groups primarily included the nations in the Southeast, such as the Cherokee, Chickasaw, Choctaw Creek, and Seminole tribes. Ironically, only the Chickasaw and Choctaw failed to free all of the people they held in captivity until 1866, after the Civil War, when the federal government had to step in. By the 18th century, many Native Americans owned black slaves, and some tribes, such as the Catawba and Cherokee, were notorious for their dislike of blacks. Hence, their slaves were not normally assimilated, but worked like common laborers under often harsh conditions. The Cherokee were also famous for owning the largest number of black slaves purchased from white slave traders in the colonial period. It is recorded that in 1809, the Cherokee owned nearly 600 black slaves. Another unique fact was that the Cherokee Constitution did not recognize the children of black women as members of the nation. The Cherokee did not recognize formal marriages between their people and the black slaves in the Cherokee Act of Union in 1839, and this was revised in 1855. Those slaves who returned after the Civil War were denied Cherokee citizenship, although Cherokee Chief Lewis Downing tried to legally correct this, but he was overruled by the National Council, and the Cherokee National Legislature called upon the federal government to remove what they called the intruders. However, it should be noted that there was a sect within the Cherokee called the Ketowa Society, which was a secret abolitionist organization that ran its own underground railroad and protected runaway slaves. The Chickasaw produced cotton, corn, tobacco, livestock, and poultry for self-consumption, but also to sell on the open market to white Americans. Their use of black slave labor assisted in these projects, being that they were an agrarian-based economy. The Chickasaw also gave greater value to white mixed members over those who were black mixed, and in their culture, white mixed Chickasaw often became chiefs, but that was not part of the program for the black Chickasaw. In an effort to stop race mixing, Chickasaws were publicly punished for having relationships with blacks. They were subjected to fines, whippings, and often expulsion from the nation. The Creek Nation had many interactions with blacks, and some took runaway slaves into their protection, although they still considered them inferior due to the type of field work that the men had to do on the plantations. Many blacks would become Creek slaves, or in some cases, the Creeks would sell the runaways back to their white owners. During the 18th century, after the American Revolution, the whites placed bounties on runaways. In most cases, the Creeks refused to comply with the white demands for their return. During this period, few Creeks owned black slaves, but by the 1850s this changed, and after the Great Relocation West, where it is estimated that 10% of the Creek Nation were black slaves. The Choctaw in Georgia, in their 1840 Constitution, did not allow freed blacks or runaways to settle within Choctaw territory, meaning that they were not allowed to own land. But white men could and often did get permission in writing from the tribal chief or United States agent in charge to live within the Choctaw Nation. Blacks or their offspring were not allowed to become citizens of the nation or hold office, but this was not true of Choctaw white men married to Choctaw women, and their children were considered members who could then become citizens. The Choctaw also began to have an abrasive relationship with the Christian missionaries who arrived and built churches and schools, and this was tolerated until the missionaries began preaching that slavery in its entirety was antithetical to Christian values. Then the missionaries were politely told to leave. The Choctaw, like the majority of white slave owners, did not want their slaves illiterate. Most of the Indian slave owners had many of the chiefs of the various tribes who were themselves mixed race, living in both the world of the Indian and the white man. Some of these slave owner chiefs were also mixed Indian and black, such as the father of Medal of Honor recipient Pompey Factor, who was himself a black Seminole. The Seminoles were generally the most relaxed in their relations with the black slaves, and they generally welcomed them into their tribes, and the children of the mixed-race children were usually treated no differently than the other members, with Pompey Factor's father being a prime example, but this was not universal. Seminoles still raided plantations and took both black and white slaves, and many black slaves ran away to join the Seminoles, believing that they would have a better life. This was true until the end of the First Seminole War, after which the practice became too risky, and the black runaways were often returned to avoid retribution from their white owners. General Thomas Jessup believed that if there was a second Seminole War, the entire southern region could explode into open rebellion, with black slaves revolting against their owners in alliance with the Seminole and possibly other tribes. During the conclusion of that Second Seminole War, these tribes took their black slaves with them along the way to Indian Territory in present-day Oklahoma when they were removed from the American Southeast by the U.S. government. Pompey Factor's family removed west from Florida, and after the government forced relocation of the tribes, they ended up in Arkansas. Many were relocated in Arkansas, and some, like Factor's family, even went to Texas. Many of these Indians still owned their slaves, even as they were themselves being pushed onto reservations. The Seminoles were then thrown onto Creek lands, who were already there, and as the Creek practiced chattel slavery, some Seminole thought that was a great idea, while the majority did not. Regardless, the Creek and other tribes raided Seminole properties to steal their slaves. It was these actions that saw Factor's family and others escape into Mexico, where slavery was illegal. It was this push westward that carried chattel slavery into the frontier, setting the stage for future political conflict that would become problematic with the approaching Civil War pitting slave states against non-slave states. However, it has been documented that in many cases, blacks held as slaves by Indians fared much better and lived a better life than blacks owned by the majority of white masters. But then there were the tribes that did not own slaves of any kind, let alone blacks, who gave runaways sanctuary and made them part of their tribes. Some whites disapproved of the lenient treatment given to the blacks by their Indian benefactors and owners. The great Black Order, Frederick Douglass, stated in 1850, "The slave finds more of the milk of human kindness in the bosom of the savage Indian than in the heart of his Christian master." One government official, a white Indian agent named Douglas Cooper, was somewhat disturbed by the relaxed, lenient, and almost equal treatment of blacks held by some Indian tribes, that he suggested to these tribes that they should invite white men in to teach them the proper method of handling the Negroes. It is known that some Native American women bought male slaves, then freed them, married them, and then their children were born free according to the laws in the 18th century. As one may imagine, this practice was somewhat frowned upon by many in the slaveholding states later. The practice of Native American slavery was as diverse as it was common among their contemporaries. Some tribes had laws and councils that adjudicated the status of black slaves and even white slaves. The treatment of black slaves among their Native American owners was just as diverse when compared to whites, depending upon the tribe in question, but it is irrefutable that Native Americans, while not in their majority, were deeply involved in the black slave trade in varying degrees. Thank you for watching Forgotten History. Please click like, subscribe, and share. Send us comments and show ideas, and we will get back to you as soon as possible.
All right, there you go.
So, like I said, they were all enslaving each other. The indigenous here, the Indians, American Indians, they were slave owners.
So they would owe reparations to everybody.
Yeah, we're all enslaving each other.
They owe reparations to everybody.
Right, but in Ireland, the potato famine, which was engineered, right?
Irish and
to get them to come over here. Some of them didn't they didn't choose to come here. They were forced to come here, right? And then sold as slaves. And from the so there's a lot
and that brings us to Ireland and Irish.
Right. So the first slaves shipped to the American colonies in 1619 were 100 white children from Ireland. The first slaves imported in the American colonies were 100 white children 4 months before the arrival of the first shipment of black slaves. Many were brought from Ireland, where the law held that it was no more sin to kill an Irishman than a dog for any other brute. King James II, followed by Charles I and Oliver Cromwell, sold over 500,000 Irish Catholics into slavery throughout the 1600s onto plantations in the West Indies islands of Antigua, Montserrat, Jamaica, Barbados, as well as Virginia and New England. Irish slaves were less expensive than African and treated with more cruelty and death.
They didn't even want to pay much for us. Fuckers.
No.
I'm an expensive slave.
There are records of Irish slaves well into the 18th century. Many never made it off the ships. According to written records, in at least one incident, 132 slaves, men, women, and children, were dumped overboard to drown because ships' suppliers were running low. They were drowned because the insurance would pay for an accident, but not for the slave. If the slaves were allowed to starve, so they just let them drown for insurance purposes. Just threw them overboard.
Right. But what's crazy about that is there's more Irish people in America than there is in Ireland.
Right.
Go look at the numbers. There's only a few million Irish people that live in Ireland, and then there's 25 plus million Irish Americans.
Right. So they said that white slaves were sold in the 17th century more than blacks in America, with a staggering death rate between 37% to 50%. Modern day historians call the white slave indentured servants. They never referred them to as slaves. These white slaves had worked 14 hours a day with no wages, in worst working conditions equivalent to the same hard labor that existed in the gulag. This says that less than 5% of whites owned slaves, 17% of the blacks owned slaves, and up to 76% of the Jews owned slaves.
So in 1847, during the Irish potato famine, the Choctaw Nation of Native Americans donated $147 million to assist the famine relief in Irishtown. They built a memorial to thank the Native Americans. Here it is right here with the, let's see that. There we go.
Yep.
If you want to take over a planet, okay, if you want to completely take over a planet, the first thing that you have to do is you have to take out the alpha males or the strong males from the planet, because the strong alpha males protect the divine feminine. Through television and films, how they are feminizing men more and more and more. You'll see men dressed up in female clothes. The cane is a phallus or male energy. The two circles on either side are to control the male energy. This is not to empower the female in any way. This is a trick to make it look like that it's empowering the female, when in fact it is taking away the protection from the female. The feminism movement that happened in the 60s was to destroy the family unit from the inside out. If you want to take over
I can do it without a man. I
Right?
don't need
And
a
like they
man.
said, that's why they
The
do
man is
so many
for
wars,
protection.
is to get rid of the alpha men.
Yes.
Because all the alpha men be willing to fight for their
So,
what they thought was their country.
so when they went and go over to another country and got some slaves, or when they enslaved people, do you think they were going for the beta males,
Right?
the lazy fuckers, or did they look for the people that were out builders, the
Yeah.
people they could actually?
Yes.
So, like she said, or he said, that's how you destabilize
A country.
a country. But it's been going on for thousands of years.
Oh yeah.
All Shakespeare was gay.
Nothing
King
new
James
under
was
the sun.
gay, feminine. King James was gay.
Yeah, he was gay.
Think about that.
It's documented.
And your King
He
James
wrote-
Bible,
he
that
wrote poetry.
that's King James.
That's why they said he was Shakespeare, because he wrote poetry about his lover, which was a man.
And Shakespeare comes into play because Jesus got poked in the ribs with what? A spear.
spear.
So that's and he was shook. They shook a spear at the ribs of Jesus on the cross.
Right.
Shakespeare. That's that.
Oh,
He wrote all
wow.
that. Yeah. Shakespeare. Yeah.
And these pansy asses have been making all these bullshit laws. Bud just burped. Bullshit laws.
Excuse you, bud.
And trying to get everybody to go along with all their bullshit forever. Oh, you can't marry that one because it's that color, right? And like they've been just doing this made up law stuff.
Yeah.
And it's only for like a certain group to say what all the laws are, and then everybody else has to pay attention to it. Like, when the hell did that become a thing? Like that's actually a forever ago kind of thing, and it's not good. Oh, good, we're going in natural law. I'm good with that.
Because you said made up laws. Well, here's natural law.
Natural laws.
Natural law is like, you know what? Whatever you're doing and you're doing good, then that's good. But if you're doing something just for yourself or somebody else, like just, you've got to have common sense when you're trying to think about stuff.
Common sense isn't
Right.
so
Nature
common.
has always corrected itself.
Balances
what
itself.
it makes, right? Man, animals, right?
Yeah.
All of it, there's a natural process that got disturbed when we didn't let nature do its thing. Right? So natural law is, you harm someone, it's going to come back to you, right? That's just the cause and effect, right?
Yep.
Natural law theory is the idea that there are universal moral principles that come from nature and can be understood through human reason. These laws are not created by humans, governments, or cultures, but are believed to be built into the world and human nature itself. According to this theory, right and wrong can be discovered by thinking carefully about what helps people live good and meaningful lives. Natural law is used to explain why some actions are considered right no matter what time or place you live in. It focuses on what is naturally good for humans and how people should act in ways that fit human purpose. The idea of natural law has roots in ancient Greek and Roman philosophy, especially in the works of thinkers like Aristotle and the Roman lawyer Cicero. These early philosophers believed that reason could help people figure out the natural order of things and how humans should behave. Later, during the Middle Ages, natural law was developed further by scholars who blended Greek philosophy with religious ideas, believing that nature had a purpose designed by a higher power. Over time, natural law became an important way of thinking in both religion and politics, helping people understand law, justice, and human rights. Now that we understand where it came from, let's explore its main principles. Natural law theory is based on a few key principles. One principle is that everything in nature has a purpose, and humans should use reason to discover that purpose. For example, eyes are meant for seeing, and human reason is meant for seeking truth and making moral choices. Another principle is that good actions are those that help humans flourish and live in harmony with others. Acts like being honest, protecting life, and caring for others are considered good because they match what it means to be a human being. A final principle is that natural law does not change based on culture or opinion. It is always the same because it is based on human nature itself. Now let's look at how this theory is used in real life. Natural law theory is often used to guide decisions about justice, laws, and human rights. For example, if a law made by a government goes against natural law, like a law that allows unfair treatment of people, natural law thinkers would say it is not a true or just law. Natural law is also used in discussions about education, leadership, and ethics, where people try to figure out what is naturally good or harmful for humans. In courts and schools, natural law can help people decide what actions are right, even when written laws are unclear. Now that we've seen how it can be applied, we should also consider some criticisms of this theory. One criticism of natural law theory is that it assumes everyone agrees on what is natural or good. But people often have very different ideas about what human nature really is. What one person sees as natural, another might see as a personal opinion or cultural habit. Another criticism is that natural law can be too rigid, since it does not always adapt well to different situations or new scientific knowledge. For example, if people discover new ways of understanding human behavior, natural law theory might still hold on to older ideas that no longer make sense. A final criticism is that using reason alone to figure out right and wrong can sometimes lead to confusion or disagreement, especially in complex situations. Even though natural law aims to be simple and universal, it can be hard to apply clearly in a changing world. Natural.
And there you go, something to ponder. 3-minute quick. I put this in the chat from Helpful Professor. Natural theory, definition and easiest explanation that I could find. We're going to get more into that on other shows, natural law. But you get the pros and cons, right? What somebody may see as natural may not be natural. You may see as natural law may not be natural law to somebody else. You know? So that's where you have your debates. Right.
You have to think it out. The problem is nobody wants to think. Like, you've got to think of all the different ways something can go, and then you do what's best.
Right.
That's it.
Go ahead, Miss Chief. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I was gonna read this. Anishinaabe Nation Prophecy. Okay, the seventh prophet that come to our people so long ago was said to be different from the other prophets. This prophet was described as a young and had strange light in his eyes. He said, "In the time of the seventh fire, new people will emerge. They will retrace their steps to find what was left by the trail. Their steps will take them to the elders, who they will ask to guide them on their journey. But many of the elders will have fallen asleep. They will awaken to this new time with nothing to offer. Some of the elders will be silent because no one will ask anything of them. The new people will have to be careful in how they approach the elders. If the new people remain strong in their quest to extract knowledge from the elders, the water drum of the Midiwin Lodge will again beat for the ancestor spirits. There will be a rebirth of the First Nations and a rekindling of the old flames that will start to rage in all the people's hearts. The sacred fire of the ancestors will again be lit. It is this time that the light skinned race will be given a choice between two roads. One road will be green and lush and very inviting. The other road will be black and charred, and walking it will cut their feet. In the prophecy, the people decide to take neither road, but instead to turn back, to remember and reclaim the wisdom of those who come before them. If they choose the right road, then the seventh fire will light the eighth fire, final fire, and the eternal fire of peace, love, and brotherhood and sisterhood. If the light skinned race makes the wrong choice of the roads, then the destruction which they brought with them in coming to this country will come back at them and cause much suffering and death to all the earth's life.
Oh.
So, got to take the right road, right? Go back to the roots, the wisdom, what our ancestors, the knowledge.
People are gonna, they're definitely they're choosing. Like, no, I love this torture place that we're in right now. Yeah, yeah. And then the other ones are like, oh, peace, love, and light. Yeah, I see flowers. I see rainbows.
Yeah.
It's like, so it's like you can't be too much on either side of that.
Right. I mean, think about it. We're awakening up, right? Then they come in with all these different psyops. They had the ETs. They had this guru spiritual, right? They had all these different things to distract you and not focus on what we're really supposed to be focusing on.
Have you seen that poll at DC?
The one with the Israeli
Exactly.
flag in there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it did more harm than it did good. You have to find balance. You're in the world. You're going to have real experience. You can't ignore everything and just vibe out your way
Burying
out
your
of
head in
this.
the sand.
You're going to be met with
You
some
got
things.
you got to
have
go through the storm and be happy in it.
Right. You got
Yeah.
to learn how to shift it or
Embrace
transmute
the
it.
suck. Embrace the suck.
Embrace the suck, yes. You know, like if it gets too much, like he was talking about, go out and garden, do something that kind of, you know, that's how you balance yourself. Or
But if you're too far into that, the lush garden part of it,
Right.
the rainbows and everything's gonna be great. I'm trusting the plan. It's like, no,
Yep.
you can't. You gotta get off your ass and do something to help the plan along. God's gonna be pissed. He's gonna be like, what the hell? I asked you to freaking do a few little things. You can't do it.
Right. And I mean, if you don't, and you do get hit with something that is going to throw you off, and then it's going to break you, right? It might break you. So you have to learn to balance it all. Read, get information, do projects, whatever it is that you need to do, but don't let things consume you either.
Right.
But don't ignore them either.
T-shirt, embrace the suck. That's a T-shirt. That's like that Forrest Gump. He's like the smiley face, accidental T-shirt. When he was dogging and he wiped his face with the T-shirt and made a smiley face.
That's right.
And it said "shit happens."
Yeah. Yeah.
That became a thing. Remember the pin? So this is this is Dan in the storm, right? And in that movie, on top of the shrimp boat, it's Captain Dan, Lieutenant Dan, with God right here. See, Lieutenant Dan against God in the storm.
Now me, I was scared, but Lieutenant Dan, he was mad.
I got one?
No, you will.
Oh, that's why I'm pausing. Yeah, I know when to pause it.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, YouTube?
That's right.
You call this a storm? Oh, you son of a bitch! Oh! It's time for a showdown!
Heck yeah.
You and me! I'm right here! Come and get me!
He wasn't
There
mad.
you-
He was having fun. He was enjoying
Yeah.
himself.
He was having fun in the storm.
Yeah.
Like, I don't fear shit. He was at the top of the mast, the captain's
Come get
mast.
some.
It was that night he found himself.
Hurricane Carmen came through here yesterday, destroying nearly everything in its path. And is in other towns.
Right, everything got destroyed. Then here comes Captain Dan, Lieutenant Dan. I used to live out here in this area. This is where they filmed it in South Carolina. Y'all see that? That's just in South Carolina.
It's been left in utter ruin. Speaking with local officials, this reporter has learned, in fact, only one shrimping boat actually survived the storm.
Hey,
Louise, that's Forrest.
there you go. Look at Lieutenant Dan. He's sitting there. All right. Anyways, you get the point of the story here in the storm. It's how you operate in the storm when the storm comes and whether you make it through or not, okay? And how you deal with it. You praise Creator in the storm when you're down and out. Are you still grateful and finding something to be thankful for, or is it wipe you right out like a tree in a wind? As soon as the wind blows, you're laid out.
Yeah.
That could happen,
Yes.
and some people can't handle it, and some people have breakdowns, and then you have suicide rates climb.
Yes.
That's what that is. You got to come out of that other end. Just hold on just a little bit longer. Because the second you give up, right before you give up, right after you give up is the victory. Is usually what they say.
Yeah.
Right. You quit right before the blessing. Every time.
Yeah.
So push just a little longer. Don't quit. Don't back down. Never give up. Remember that Trump speech? Yeah. That's what that was. All right. That is it. That's all, folks.
That's it. See y'all tomorrow.
Yeah, have a good night, everybody. Oh, and for the new people that we do have new people, the top right corner is for our Telegram room.
Oh,
So-
I think that's TikTok.
Oh no, the top right is StreamYard. I send them.
Oh, I don't know
take
what
the
you're
long
talking
way
about.
around. You take the long way around shit with me. Do you have the Telegram?
The QR code for the
Telegram.
The
So
QR code for
Telegram.
TikTok is here's Telegram. Wait, no, I don't have the Telegram QR. You'll have to get the.
QR for
But there's YouTube. You're already on YouTube. Watch it on YouTube. You have Facebook.
And Rumble.
Wait, here's the Facebook. Facebook War Room, TikTok,
Yeah.
YouTube, and then Rumble.
Thank
There's
you.
QR codes. Also, top left QR code for sheepdogspets.com. Check that out. You can support the show there. We would greatly appreciate it for past, present, and future subscribers and people that make a purchase there. We really appreciate it. I know times are hard right now, so if you're on fixed incomes, don't worry about it. We're still going to keep pushing through. But for everyone else that can, we really do appreciate you spending the money with us and with people that you know directly versus corporations, big corporations and big box companies. And you're also taking your own health into your own hands for yourself and for your pets, cat, dog, horse. So sheepdogspets.com. Thank you very much. There, I did one of those. I just did a podcaster. What are those podcaster
Your
where
first one, your first infomercial.
Right, my infomercial, like where they you never watch those podcasts? They're in the middle of the show, and then next thing you know, you're getting an ad for their
Like they say it real
advertising.
fast.
Right, it like blends into the. It's like, damn, they did that.
Yeah, like dang, they just did a commercial.
Yeah, he just did a 30-second. He just did a 30-second plug for
Owen does
sheepdogspets.com.
Yeah.
At least you wait till the end.
Right.
You know you like us now, so.
Right.
Love light. Huh?
No, go ahead.
Hey, here we go. Let's switch it up. Which one do you want? Pets lady.
The mushroom ladies tonight.
Uh-oh. The mushroom ladies tonight.
Would you misplace the song?
Another plug.
Christ was born, a servant of the servants, sworn to lead but never scorned, a keeper of the kingdom, charged to guard the holy will. Yet sovereignty of people stood above that calling still. 'Cause we are kings of our own kingdom, crowned before the world began, given dominion by the hand of God, not granted by a man. No fiction made of paper, no decree of court or throne can strip the rights that heaven wrote in every heart and bone. Unafraid, spire spoke in ancient times, no master do I see, but God alone who fashioned me and set my spirit free. But power grew in shadows where the crowns of Europe shone, and later and declared the Pope could cast down any throne, depose the kings, absolve their oaths, and give their realms away. A feudal claim of mastery no shepherd's heart would say. We are kings of our own kingdom, standing tall in rightful place, separate, equal, born with light that no crown can erase. By nature's God entitled, by creation's breath we stand, sovereigns from the first heartbeat, rulers of our land. Some say the beast is power raised beyond its rightful span, a fiction born of paper trying to rise above the man. For creations of the mind can never claim the height of those who gave them breath. Yet we empowered them to rule us, gifting life to legal death. 2,000 years we trusted forms that cannot feel or bleed, and now they stand unfeeling, blind to every human need. An office has a tenant, but the fiction bears no blame, a mask that hides the actor and dissolves the weight of shame. The keys passed down through lightest and through centuries of heirs, each pushing power further than the call that Peter bears. For Jesus said, go feed my sheep, not rule them with a rod. A servant of the servants, not a tyrant under God. The people are the grunters, settlers of the trust divine, and when a trustee breaks the oath, the right to rule resigns. The sovereigns hold the title and the power to remove a faithless steward of the keys who strays from heaven's groove. So let the nations hear it, let the fictions understand. The people claim their birthright and the keys within their hand. By grace of God the sovereigns speak, their note is now proclaimed, a claim on every attribute the house of Peter named. The assets and derivatives, the symbols and the seal, return unto the people whom the Lord himself made real. For by the divine creator's word the rightful heirs arise and lift the signet of his name before the watching skies. We are kings of our own kingdom, by eternal right we reign, with liberty our birthright and no need for earthly chain. A trust divine, a sacred sign, a truth no force can bend. Sovereignty is ours by God, beginning without So rise and claim your station, let your sovereign spirit sing. For every man and woman is a kingdom, hey! And a king in his name, the word is spoken in his name, the work is done. The divine creator seals it with the power of the one. The divine creator
Thank you. Thank you very much.